Well, here we are already at question six, which is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't, or you wanted me to ask you that I didn't? In other words, what did I miss?
Mm-hmm. You didn't ask me who I think is a better basketball player between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, and the answer is Michael Jordan. I think they're both great. I think LeBron is the most talented player ever in terms of his abilities, but I think Michael Jordan's just willingness to do whatever it took to win is unmatched. And I think LeBron's maybe a better person than Michael Jordan as well, but I think to have that mentality of like that Michael, that Kobe had, it made them super athletes. Um, but yeah, you didn't ask me that question, so.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of King Crush Thursday, the series where we highlight and uplift black men because, frankly, not too many people are doing it. My name is Val Gay, and I'm super excited about this brother today. Let's see. He is a native Philadelphian. He is a founder. He's a mentor. He's a musician. He's a lot of things. He's a college educated man. His name is Mr. Jonathan Edwards. Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, thank you for having me. Really excited to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. I'm really excited that you are here. And your presence here really creates yet another wedge in the very myopic window of how Black men are perceived in our society writ large. I'm trying to widen that window. So this wedge is like pushing that window open.
Right.
Because we know that what we see in the media is not always fully accurate. Sometimes things are accurate, but it's an incomplete story that we get. And
Mhm.
so ultimately, I want young kings who may or may not have positive black male role models to be able to come to this repository, see the same six questions answered by now well over 200 positive and successful black men, and hopefully find guidance there. And then for
Yeah.
the rest of us who are neither male or even black, for us to be able to come to this repository, also learn and have our minds expanded. And so I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to get started with the first question, which is, what does manhood mean to you?
Oh wow, yeah, the heavy hitters. What does manhood mean to me? So, manhood, if I think about that, is I would say it represents a collection of experiences that bring me to who I am today. And for that reason, there's no sort of singular definition because everybody is going to have a different set of experiences that took them from being a child to an adult, or in my case, a man. So I would say it is applying all of those things that I've picked up and experienced and learned from other people, from my own experiences, and being able to apply them in the way I think about things um, in a mature way. So I would say definitely maturity would be a piece there because I'm trying to think like what separates me as a man from when I was just a boy. Um, at the core, I'm the same, right? But what's changed is the collection of experiences and then also the way that I can take how I feel here and channel it or direct it in a way that presents to the world in the way that I've sort of manufactured it. So it can be mature. It's not the first thing that pops to my head. I can kind of like yeah, have a mastery over my surroundings and my sort of impulses. How about that?
That's great. That's great. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. So,
Right.
Jonathan, who and or what is important to you?
Who and what is important to me? I'm a man of faith, so I am very, I believe in um, just being a good person. I believe that ultimately, we do answer to somebody. Um, and so that's really important to me to always sort of treat people well. And also to try hard. I think it's very a lot of life is spent trying to figure out what your thing is, and it's easy to look left and right and see what other people are doing well, and man, wow, I want to do that or I want to do that. But you can't always control, what things you're going to be successful at or what things, you're going to gravitate toward, but you can control how hard you work at those things. So it's important to me to always work hard. And yeah, so treat people well, work hard, like work ethic is important. I have two sons, and so showing them that it's important to work hard, it's important to treat people nice, it's important to fully, be comfortable in your own identity. Those things are super important to me.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. So, Jonathan, how do you want us to see you?
Kind of go back to that. As somebody who works hard, as somebody who is authentic, I don't want to, I feel like I spent a lot of life trying to be what I thought I wanted people to see me as. And that wasn't always an authentic version of myself. Um, and I think, yeah, having kids really transformed that in my mind where it's like, wow, I don't want them to ever go through life trying to be anything other than themselves. So, yeah, I would want people to see me as being authentic, as somebody who is genuinely, doing his best. Um, and yeah, somebody who cares for, the people around him.
Mm, that's great. That's great. So, question four is, and thank you for that. Question four is, what is your epic dream?
My epic dream. Wow. Yeah, I have a lot. Now I have to think, try to narrow it down. My epic dream would be that I've created a life for myself and my family where hmm, we have the freedom and security and convenience to do whatever we want to do. So I'm free from needing to work because I just have an abundance of, means and wealth. And because of that, I can focus on doing things that I think will move the needle. I run a nonprofit that focuses on empowering music creators, looking to fight the starving artist narrative. And as a creator myself, it is, balancing those two things of yeah, ideally, you'd be able to create and put your art and put your message and heal the world and do that all of the time. But the reality is, in that you also need to treat those things somewhat like a business because you do need to eat, you need to make money, you need to provide for your family and that sort of thing. And so it's a balance that's necessary. And as you learn it, it can be fun. But ideally, it could just be about the creation, right? So the epic dream is that I could sit back and have the means to sort of, my mind is like, all right, I want to direct a film today. And hundreds of thousands of people are going to see this film. And so therefore I have that strong impact and influence, then that's what I would do. So yeah, the ability to create without and you do, we all have the ability to create without limit, but there is somewhat some sort of balancing of responsibilities that makes that feel a little constricted. So yeah, I would say that the epic dream would be to have the means and whatnot that you can create and influence solely. Like that's 100% what I'm focusing on.
Hmm. I love it. Got it. Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So I think you've been answering question five all along implicitly, but I'm going to ask you explicitly. Mr. Jonathan Edwards, who are you?
Who am I? I am a father. I am an artist, a creator. I am a friend. Um, and I am somebody who uh, has fun and enjoys, the fun things in life. And I'm somebody who's still figuring it out with regard to still like what I'm gonna be when I grow up, even though I'm grown. So, I'm curious. I feel like I'm always a student and somebody who's learning. Um, yeah.
That's awesome. Excellent. 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 Great. Great. Well, here we are already at question six, which is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't, or you wanted me to ask you that I didn't? In other words, what did I miss?
Mm-hmm. You didn't ask me who I think is a better basketball player between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, and the answer is Michael Jordan. I think they're both great. I think LeBron is the most talented player ever in terms of his abilities, but I think Michael Jordan's just willingness to do whatever it took to win is unmatched. And I think LeBron's maybe a better person than Michael Jordan as well, but I think to have that mentality of like that Michael or that Kobe had, it made them super athletes. Um, but yeah, you didn't ask me that question, so.
Well, I'm glad you answered that question.
But
The
do people
unasked.
ever ask you? I mean, those are really heavy hitting questions. They ask you what your epic dream is.
Every now and then someone asks me, but this is not about me. This is about the brothers, and I'm
Okay.
really grateful I get to be a conduit and to witness
Hmm.
every last one of these interviews, which I'm so grateful for. And speaking of being grateful, I'm really grateful for you and your presence in the world. You know, I have a mission to eradicate the starving artist narrative, starting in Philadelphia and then spreading to
Yeah.
writ large. It's taking a while, but it's going to happen. And so, hearing the work that you're doing is very exciting and very much needed in our community. And definitely, we have to think about, regardless of our structure, all of us are businesses, whether we like it or not.
Hmm.
You can say, I don't like money, I don't like this, I don't like, but you got to eat. In this
Right.
world where we are, we have to eat. And even if you live in a barter system, there's still a business. So, anyway,
Hmm.
I digress. But I just thank you so much for being here and for your presence in the world. I honor you, my king. I pray that your epic dream, one of many, comes true sooner rather than later. And I'm just really grateful that you're here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me and for
Absolutely.
doing this and shining this spotlight. I think it's very needed. And like you said, people don't do it enough.
Absolutely. Thank you. And stay right there because I want to thank the audience for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation as much as I have. And if there's a positive and successful Black man in your life who you want to see highlighted and hear from in this forum, please click the link below or in my bio. Fill out the nomination form and we'll take it from there. That's actually how we met Jonathan Edwards. And so I'm so grateful to the person who recommended him because it's also great to be seen by people, other people. Sometimes they're your peers, sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's just someone who's noticing what you're doing. It's a great thing. And I often say that success does not mean what a man does for a living. With the my two caveats, as long as it's legal and not hurting anybody, I don't care what a man does for a living because that's not always, and particularly in our society for Black men, not always the arbiter of a man's uh, uh, his capacity or abilities, if you will. But the content of his character, he controls that. And so we are interested in those brothers whose content, whose character is influencing those around them, starting with the nuclear family and radiating out to the rest of us. Those are the brothers that we want to have in this repository, in this podcast series. So please, I never say this, but please feel free to like and subscribe. I never say that, but I'm saying it today. Like and subscribe because we really want this to go further. And if it changes one life, all of this will be worth it. But I think each brother has the potential to reach so many others. So thank you so much, and stay tuned next week for yet another amazing king. And in the meantime, please remember to spread love and have a great day. Thank you so much. And Jonathan, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Awesome.